And welcome to Spay Neuter Network Live. I am Dr. Mark Stickney, and we're broadcasting from the Spay Neuter Network studio in San Antonio, Texas. I am so glad y'all are here today. We are going to have a few announcements, and then we're going to go right into all of the questions that you guys have. So, first off, it is March, so that can only mean, oh, what's that noise? Are those kittens? Yes, it is, because March is the start of kitten season. So if you have a female cat and it is not spayed and it goes outside at all, you're going to have kittens. Cats are what are called seasonally polyestrous, which means that they only go into heat when the weather and the sunlight is just right, which is springtime. And that is right now. They are going to go into heat. They're going to do everything they can to get out the door. If you live with one, it's going to annoy you all night long, running around and caterwauling. And when you go to pet your cat, it's going to all arch up and everything and be just trying to love on you all it can. If you have a male cat, he's going to be wanting to get out the door because he wants to go on a date. So now is the time to definitely get your cat spayed or neutered if they are not already. Female cats will they'll go into heat for about a week. If they don't get bred, about 3 weeks later, they'll go back into heat again, and they'll just do that all spring long until you either get them spayed or something happens. If you're a male cat, if you own a male cat, he's going to be, if there are other cats outside that he can see, he's going to be more aggressive than usual. He's going to be trying to get out the door. Cats that are outside and breeding with other cats they don't know, that is a good way for feline leukemia virus to spread. So, you want to get them neutered as well before all of that gets started this month. March 1st was Employee Appreciation Day. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone at Spay Neuter Network for all of the hard work that you guys all do. From our technicians and the staff to the folks at the front desk, the people answering the phone, the doctors doing the surgeries. There are so many pieces that make all of this work and fit together, and we could not do it without every single one of those people. So thank you so much for the people on the front lines, the people in the back, and the people behind the scenes that are just kind of making it all follow along and keep going. That is, it's such an important thing to do, and we just can't thank you enough. So thank you very much. March is also Petco National Pet Vaccination Month. So, vaccines are critically important to the health of our pets. Vaccines have prevented more illnesses and death than anything else in the history of medicine, more than antibiotics. The only thing that has saved more animals and more people is fresh, clean drinking water that is not full of bacteria and parasites. So, vaccines are critically important. Some vaccines are required by law, like your rabies vaccine. Some vaccines are considered core vaccines. They're good vaccines to give your pet no matter what. And based on the age of your pet, we can figure out the best vaccination schedule for you and for your pet. So make sure that you keep up on those vaccines, and those will help to prevent your pet from having disease, catching something, or it will also prevent them, if they do get sick, from getting really sick. It'll decrease the clinical signs. So that's all good reasons to do that. And at Spay Neuter Network, that is one of our main missions, is providing, in addition to providing spays and neuters to dogs and cats and everyone that we possibly can, keeping our pets healthy and well from the get-go is one of our big missions. It's oversaid, but it's still true that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I will encourage everybody to get your pets vaccinated if they are not. Spay Neuter Network will be at White Rock Brewing Company this Thursday in Oak Cliff from 5 to 7 p.m. The leadership team is going to be there. Other members of the team will be there. So if you want to meet with some great people, chit chat a little bit, get some questions answered, and enjoy some delicious beer, Thursday night at White Rock Brewing Company in Oak Cliff is the place to be. So we hope that we see you there. If you are in San Antonio, you know that a big celebration that we have is called Fiesta is coming up. And we have our very own Fiesta medals. And there's what that looks like right there. And they are $10 at our hospital here, Spay Neuter Network at 210 Tuleta Drive. It's got our Spay Neuter Network logo on it. It's got a happy dog and a happy cat because all dogs and cats are happy after they've come to visit us. And it says Fiesta 24 on it. So we have these available. They are $10. Just come on in and you can get one, whether you're bringing your pet in or not. We have those available for you. So get ready to celebrate Fiesta and get all of your medals together. And here's a unique one that shows how much you love and support dogs and cats and their care. March 23rd, so coming up toward the end of the month, in the Dallas in Fort Worth is the DFW Pets Are Family event. And at this event, there's going to be free pet food, vaccinations for your pets, and a whole lot more. Lots of fun. Fun for all of the dogs, fun for the whole family. So on March 23rd, you should go ahead and check out that event. It should be a great time. As always, everything that I have talked about and more can be found at spayneuternet.org, our official website. So definitely check things out over there and make sure that you're up to date on all of the things that are going on, so you don't miss anything and miss any fantastic deals that we may have for your pets and fun events that we have for you and your pet. So we had mentioned earlier that it is kitten season. When a cat becomes pregnant, it takes about 2 months for those kittens to be born, from the time that mating occurs to the time that the kitty goes into labor. So 2 months. And during that time, those little kittens will grow and develop there inside mama cat. And at the end of that time, they will be born. The average cat litter size is 6 kittens. So that is a lot of kittens. When we think about each of those kittens then being able to breed the following year, and or depending on if they're born really, really early, potentially within 6 months in the fall, if each of those kittens is able to breed and has another 6 kittens, it doesn't take very long for us to have thousands and thousands of extra cats running around that don't necessarily have a home. So getting your pet spayed and neutered, as always, as our mission here at Spay Neuter Network, is just one of the most responsible things that you can do, not only for your pet, but for the community as well. Cats hit sexual maturity. They'll reach sexual maturity at about 6 months of age. So that is when they are ready to start making kittens. And if they are a male cat, that's when they are realizing that they're a male cat and they can start breeding and helping to create those kittens. So getting them neutered and spayed is very important. If you have a female cat, you get them spayed. That is fantastic. You absolutely should do that. But if you've got a male cat who roams around, that one male cat can go and meet a lot of female cats and breed them and make a whole lot of kittens. The female cat can get bred once and then she's pregnant. That male cat just can go caterwauling around and create a whole lot of extra litters of kittens. So very important that those guys get neutered as well. One of the big benefits of neutering that male cat is that it will prevent him from deciding he wants to mark all around the house, and then everyone who comes to visit knows that you own a tomcat. So it will help to eliminate that marking behavior, and it will help to make them less aggressive, less territorial, especially if you have other cats in the house. And cats that roam the neighborhood are far more and that are intact are far more likely to suffer some sort of a traumatic injury, like getting into a fight or getting into a car or getting hit by a car, than cats that are not than cats that are neutered. So if they are intact, they have all those hormones going, they will go and do crazy boy things and get themselves in some trouble. So definitely get them neutered when you have the chance. All right. National Vaccination Month. Like I mentioned before, vaccines are critically important in maintaining wellness and in helping to prevent disease. So one of the most important vaccines that we have is rabies. You hear about rabies a lot. There are some countries in the world where they do not have regular vaccine programs, and there are tens of thousands of rabid animals, and in some countries thousands of people die of rabies every year from a stray dog or a stray cat that has rabies. And we are fortunate here in the United States to not have that be a very common occurrence. But if your pet were to get rabies, it is 100% fatal. If you have a pet that accidentally bites somebody, then that animal will have to go into quarantine if it's not for a longer period of time, if it's not vaccinated for rabies. So that is an absolutely critical law. Says you need to do it. You it It's important that you do it from a maintaining your pet's health and life. So you definitely want to go ahead and get that done. Another vaccine that we'll do, that common vaccine that we have for our dogs is the Bordetella vaccine. And this vaccine prevents one of the more common bacterial causes of kennel cough, which is Bordetella bronchoseptica. Is the $50 word for that bacteria. Um, and this is tends to not be a life threatening disease in most cases, but it sure is one of those diseases where the pet doesn't feel good and everyone stays up at night and all day long because the pet just has this terrible goose haunt cough that takes about 10 days to go away. So the Bordetella vaccine is very effective in either preventing that disease entirely or having those signs be much less loud and not last nearly as long. Distemper parvo vaccines. The combo vaccine is a combination of vaccinations that protect against distemper virus, parvovirus, parainfluenza, and hepatitis. And these are all common diseases that can be spread from dog to dog that are not if they are not vaccinated. Um, Distemper can affect the respiratory system and the nervous system. Parvovirus can is a disease that puppies get that is uh, often fatal without treatment. They develop terrible diarrhea and go into dehydration and become overwhelmed by bacteria, and they can die from that. Parainfluenza is another one of the culprits in kennel cough syndrome. So it will help prevent from that. And then hepatitis affects the liver, causes inflammation of the liver, and can also make your pet really sick and or die. So that is an important core vaccine that we have. Another vaccine that we offer is leptospirosis. Lepto is a disease that is spread by bacteria, and it is commonly spread by squirrels that go around and urinate, and they urinate in a puddle of water. And whether that puddle's at the dog park or on the street or in your backyard, they urinate in there. The bacteria are now in there, and your dog's running around in the backyard, and they stop and take a quick drink out of the puddle, or they get their bodies covered in water from there, and now they're licking themselves clean. And the next thing you know, you've got a dog that has leptospirosis. And this bacteria goes to the kidneys and it goes to the liver, and it can cause kidney failure and liver failure. So vaccinating for leptospirosis is a great idea if your pet spends time outside or anywhere where there are going to be just stagnant pools of water. On the cat side of things, of course, we vaccinate cats for rabies as well. And it's every bit as important for the same reasons that we have already stated. Another vaccine that we will offer to cats is the FVRCP vaccine. And that vaccine protects against feline viral rhinotracheitis, um, calicivirus, panleukopenia, and those are all diseases that affect the respiratory tract or the can also affect the eyes, and that is those are these are vaccines that will help prevent us from getting those diseases, or again keeping them from being as serious as they could be. We also have a feline leukemia virus vaccine. This vaccine is effective in preventing feline leukemia, which is spread by from cat to cat when they do things like snuggle up with each other, groom each other, kiss each other. It's spread in the saliva um, and other bodily fluids. So we say that feline leukemia is for lovers and FIV is for fighters because that tends to be spread by cat bites. But feline leukemia virus can be prevented with the vaccine, and that's another one that we offer at Spay Neuter Network. So, once again, wellness is a big key of ours, and we are very, very happy to be able to offer those vaccines at a very affordable price. And sometimes at one of our vaccine events, we even will do those for free. So keep an eye out for that when we have those, and let's make sure that our pets are all protected for the things that we can protect them against, because we all know that there's lots of things that we can't protect against, and that there's lots of things that happen unexpectedly. So, um, if it's something that you can take off the list of things to worry about, that is great. One of the opportunities that you might have to take advantage of those vaccines would be at the DFW Pets or Family event coming up on March 23rd in Fort Worth. Definitely something to check out. You can get more details about that at spayneuternet.org. As the spring starts to ramp up and we're starting to get some rain and we're starting to get some warmer temperatures, that means that fleas and mosquitoes are hatching and showing up everywhere. And remember, with fleas, it's easy to say that a lot of people like to say, well, my cat doesn't have fleas, but the neighbor's dog does, and the fleas don't care if there's a fence between your yard and their yard. So those fleas can just hop over anytime they want. So it is a great idea to have your pet on flea control if they're not already year round, especially here in most of Texas. It never really gets cold enough to kill all of the fleas or all of the mosquitoes. Um, Fleas are a cause of discomfort, itching, scratching. They can get on us, they can get on our pets. Um, in severe, severe cases, in little puppies and kittens, they can drink enough blood when they bite that they'll actually cause anemia in those animals. So, preventing those, and they also, with the dog, goes to scratch and itch and bite it where there's a flea and they eat that flea, that's how they get tapeworms as well. And then the next thing you know, you see these little white rice grain segments of tapeworm crawling out of your dog's behind, because that's how tapeworms spread themselves, and that is just gross. So if we can prevent that from happening, that would be a great thing to do. Mosquitoes spread heartworm disease to both dogs and cats. So having your pet on heartworm prevention is a key to maintaining their health. Heartworm disease is a progressively fatal disease that eventually cause heart enlargement and heart failure in dogs that have it. The worms will, when the dog is bitten by the mosquito, the little worms will burrow through the skin and they find their way to the dog's heart and one of the major arteries in the heart, and they will start to grow there. And the next thing you know, you've got basically, it looks like a big wad of spaghetti blocking up their heart, and their heart tries to work harder to push against that, and it does the best it can, but the heart gets starts to get stretched out and worn out after a while, and then you've got a heart that no matter what just can't beat as effectively. So once again, preventing that is really important. Heartworm treatment is very expensive and it is very hard on the dog. We give injections in their lower back muscles, deep into those back muscles, so it's uncomfortable, and then they're very sore from that. Some of them will can get sick from that injection as well. So give your dog a monthly treat and keep them from having to even deal with it. Keep yourself from even having to deal with it. You've got to, if your dog has heartworms and undergoes treatment, you've got to somehow figure out a way to keep them confined for 2 months while the treatment is ongoing. And, I think all of us that have had a pet that has been spayed or neutered, we have to confine that pet for 10 days. Now imagine taking that and multiplying it by 6 to do that for 2 months, and that's a long time. No one wants to do that. Your pet sure doesn't want to do it. They don't understand that they've got to be still so that they don't end up with complications from the treatment. So they just know that, why am I caged up here all the time? I want to go chase the ball. So we will so preventing that from happening is by giving heartworm prevention on a monthly basis is a great thing to do. Cats can also get heartworm disease. It's a little bit different in cats. The cats will tend to get just a couple, one or two worms that end up living in their heart. And one of the most common signs that we'll see with those cats is that they're throwing up commonly. The other thing that is different in cats that have heartworm disease versus dogs is that they will sometimes throw a blood clot from that worm and they will just fall over dead, and then everybody is sad and no one knows why that just happened, and you might not ever even find out that it was from heartworm. So having your cats on prevention is important as well, because again, it's one thing that's easy to keep from happening in the first place. So having your cat on a monthly prevention is a great thing to do for them. People will tell me sometimes, well, my dog or my cat only goes outside for 10 minutes a day, or is never outside at all. And boy, I'll tell you what, yesterday I was watching television and something's buzzing around me, and when you know it, it's already a mosquito. And was outside working in the yard over the weekend, and I'm already getting bit by mosquitoes. And I was not out there very long. I was about there about as long as you might just let your dog out to go do his business and come back in. And I already had 3 of them that were trying to bite me. So they're always out there. Fleas are always out there. They can hop on you, even if your pet doesn't go outside. They can hop on you as you go into your house. You got a little hitchhiker, and now that flea hops off and it's in your house. Um, that flea will preferentially seek out a dog's or a cat to bite, and then if it's a female, they will lay their eggs, and those eggs will drop off in the environment, and that flea can lay about 50 eggs a day. Those eggs will in turn then hatch, and now I've got, from one little hitchhiking flea, in a couple of weeks I've got 50 fleas in my house. And if about half of those are female, that's 25 new female fleas that will start biting and then laying their own set of 50 eggs, and before you know it, things are just totally out of control at your house. So flea control is a flea control is just so important. And It's so easy it's so easy to kind of have that fall to the back burner because the flea only spends 5% of its entire life on your pet. The rest of the time it's just hanging out in the environment doing whatever fleas do. So if you're petting your dog, you may not ever even see that flea that's there. If you've got a pet that had a cat that has black hair, you won't see a flea crawling around on it. But sure enough, it's there. It's funny when we do our surgeries here. It's funny how many pets where when they were just hanging out in the carrier, we were looking at them, petting them, checking them out. We didn't see any fleas, but as soon as they're under anesthesia and we shave their little bellies, there are fleas all over, and there's a reason why they're so hard to see because they're teeny little insects, and that's how they are made to go unnoticed and keep doing their thing. So I think the assumption always should be not that my pet doesn't have fleas, but that my pet, if they don't have fleas right now, they're sure going to have it eventually, and I need to be on prevention for that. A reminder once again, Thursday, tomorrow, if you are looking for something to do and you are near the Oak Cliff area, White Rock Brewing Company is going to be a great place to head after work from 5 to 7. There is going to be people from the Spay Neuter Network up there. And we're a friendly bunch, and we love getting out and talking with people and spreading the message of what we do and talk about how we do it. And it's just great to have that time where you can sit down, enjoy a drink, and just talk about spay neuter stuff or just whatever. So White Rock Brewing Company tomorrow from 5 to 7 in Oak Cliff. It is going to be a fun time. I would certainly be there if I lived near Oak Cliff, but I don't. I'm in San Antonio. Um, but that should be a really good time. But since I am in San Antonio, once again, Fiesta is coming up and it's time to be getting your medals. And here is our Spay Neuter Network Fiesta 24 medal, and it is shiny and super cool. It says Spay Neuter Network. It says Fiesta 24 on it. There's a little playing cat, and there's the smiling dog, and our Spay Neuter Network symbol. This is a great conversation starter. It's a great medal to add to your collection. They are only $10 here at our Spay Neuter Network location in San Antonio at 210 Toletta Drive, and definitely definitely would like to sell out of those and have us be represented at Fiesta when that comes up here very very soon. I just want to give one more final shout out to everyone that works at Spay Neuter Network. I know that March 1 was Employee Appreciation Day, and I know that there is just no way I could do what I need to do without my wonderful staff here that helps everything happen. They we all work as a team, but it takes the whole team to make it happen. If I just showed up and no one else did, not much would get done that day. So I just can't say thank you enough to them, and I know that's the same at every Spay Neuter Network location. Um, if we're not all there doing our thing and invested in what we're doing, it just doesn't work. So what we do is very very important, bringing wellness care, spay neuter to as many people as possible at as an affordable price as possible, and it's just there's such a need for it, and everyone who works at Spay Neuter Network firmly believes that is the best way to have your pet be with you for as long as possible and have the happiest and healthiest life that you possibly can for your pet, and time for you to enjoy being with your pet. Once again, March is Petco National Pet Vaccination Month. So it's just a good thing to be reminded about because it's sometimes, life happens and getting your pets their shots sometimes falls on one of those back burners. So, it's if it's close to time, Now's a great time to go ahead and get your pet vaccinated, get those vaccines boosted. If you're a puppy or a kitten, you want to get your vaccine series so that you're protected. Um, Here, as things start to warm up, the diseases that puppies and kittens and dogs and cats spread, this is nice weather for them to kind of stay alive on whatever surface they end up on. So, getting your pet vaccinated, always a great idea. Go ahead and get that done while you can when you're thinking about it. I have certainly enjoyed talking with everybody today. I am glad that you joined us. We will be back again next month for another live session at Spay Neuter Network Live. I'm Dr. Mark Stickney. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great rest of the month. We'll see you next month. Bye bye.